sponsors.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. You are back with Joshua Salaam and the show called Think About It. I'm your host, and this is all brought to you by Penny Appeal USA. I got a nice show lined up for you today. Can't you tell? I got my fly shirt. My producers told me that blue and orange go together. Did my kufi check, make sure we got no wrinkles. So I'm ready. I hope you're ready. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Okay, assalamu alaikum, welcome back. I'm thinking of changing my intro. Instead of going like this, I'm thinking of doing the Malcolm X pose, you know. Think about it. What do you think about that? I don't know, just trying different things out. Hey, I got a nice guest lined up for you today, and don't worry, this intro is only gonna be like 3 minutes. I'm gonna get right to my guest, because I've been listening to you guys gave me the feedback, you know, so we're gonna get right to it. But have you ever gone to the masjid for like Fajr or Maghrib or Isha or Taraweeh, and you get behind an imam and they're reciting the Quran and you feel like you could just stand behind them all day long, right? That's how I feel when I stand behind my next guest, Abdullah Ahmad. I've stood behind him in prayer, and you know, he's just reciting, and he doesn't go fast, he just goes at the right tone, and he's one of those young men that I told you about in the previous episode where they hit the right notes without even knowing it. He doesn't know what note he's hitting. He doesn't know if he's going from F sharp to E to C to G, but he's hitting the right notes so that it sounds good to the human ear. So I wanted to bring him on and showcase him to you. And he's, in addition to having good notes when he's reciting the Quran, when some of the judges who have judged him in these competitions, they said, you know, this young man, he's hitting all the rules. It's like he has a very strong foundation in the rules of tajweed, and that's one of the reasons why he would win first place a lot. Sometimes he won second place or third place, but often he was winning first place. And I just find him to be kind of a cool young man, pretty good soccer player too. You know, I've had an opportunity to be a victim of some of his kicks on the soccer field, but I think you'll like him. And what I think you'll get most out of this show, parents and youth. You ever seen that movie? I think it was called Muslim, I forget. It wasn't Muslim, it was like Muslim or Muslim. And they had this young African-American boy who went to the Quran school. My boy was in that movie, Azhar Usman, the comedian. Check him out. He was like the director of the Quran program, working on his Urdu accent. And in that movie, that little boy had got like beaten pretty bad. He had all those like marks on his back, and his mother was like so upset with the Quran school. Well, we don't want that, you know. But sometimes that exists. People out there, you know, have a really tough time. Abdullah's going to talk about some ways that you can know that you're getting your child into a good Quran school. All right, some are very relaxed, some are pretty strict, and some are in between. But you got to really listen to your child. You got to find the best Quran school for them. Some children need a more strict environment. They need to have a teacher that's kind of strict and stern and disciplined. And some children need somebody who's kind of chill and relaxed and things like that. You got to know your child. I got 2 sons myself, and I can tell you they have very different personalities. And if you're a parent, you know that some of your children have very different personalities. So that's some of the stuff that you're going to learn on the show today. I hope you tune in. I hope you're listening. We're coming right back in a few seconds after this appeal from pennyappealusa.org. That's where it all is coming from. They're our sponsors of the show. You're listening to Think About It with Joshua Salaam. I'll be right back.
Since August 25th of this year, over 600,000 individuals have fled from Myanmar into bordering Bangladesh. They've witnessed crimes against humanity. The United Nations calls what happened in Myanmar textbook definition of genocide, textbook definition of ethnic cleansing. We've been here for the last few months, providing them with access to clean drinking water, providing them with access to primary healthcare services, helping them build their shelters, as well as giving them weekly food distributions. We can't fathom what they've witnessed. The ones that have arrived into Bangladesh are the lucky ones. They're now residing in between the 22 to 25 official refugee camps that have now been established. With your continued support, we want to secure their future. We want to stay for the foreseeable future so that we can dig more water wells, so that we can provide them with more medication and more medical advice, so that we can help build more shelters, especially with the winter coming and the cold setting in. Please visit our website to find out more about our work and to support us with your generous donations. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. This is Joshua Salaam. You're listening to Think About It. I'm your host, and this is all brought to you by Penny Appeal, pennyappealusa.org. I have a friend of mine and a young gentleman who's a blooming young man who's going to be doing some amazing things. Let me introduce my next guest, Mr. Abdullah Ahmad. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
Now, you know why I brought you on the show, right?
Yeah,
Not really?
A little bit.
I've been talking on this show for several days now. Not like the past few days, but we had Keba on. You know Keba.
Yeah.
You and him switch on leading prayers sometimes. We had Burhan, a.k.a. Shah Mashhood, had him on there. And we've been talking about people's journey to memorize the Quran, right? You were one of the first people who I met at Adams Center who was kind of like I don't want to say, yeah, the other Quran students used to talk about you like, oh, Abdullah's like a step ahead, he's a step ahead. I was like, okay. And then when we started getting these Miss competitions going on, you got first place, and we were like, oh, okay. So, you know, I started paying attention to you. And then the next year we got first place, and I was like, oh, okay. And still, I think I hadn't heard you recite that much. But I want to, before we get into the actual recitation, I want to find out, how did you even get into memorizing the Quran? Was it a family tradition, or was it something that your parents wanted you to start? How did it all begin for you?
Yeah, so for me, it definitely began with my parents. So they threw out the idea at, I think I was 8 at the time, and they kind of...
how did they throw out the idea?
Well, they literally just came and they said, you know, what do you think of, instead of, you know, continuing normal studies, going homeschooling and, you know, memorizing the Quran? And they first asked me, like, do you want to memorize the Quran? I said, I want to be Hafiz, inshallah, one day, but I mean, I have to memorize the Quran, it's going to take, you know, so long. And then they kind of explained, like, well, if you want to, you know, memorize the Quran, you have to go through the process and things like that. And alhamdulillah, I decided to take on the task, and at the age of 9, I started.
Did they know that you had a nice voice before that? Were you like singing songs all the time in the house or something? Or?
I mean, my dad has a good voice.
Oh, really?
But,
okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
No, that's a hidden thing. He doesn't like to share with people.
Too late. It ain't hitting no more. It is not hitting no more. Next time we see you, Uncle, we're going to ask you to sing a song or recite some Quran.
Sorry, Abu. Yeah, so, but alhamdulillah, yeah, so alhamdulillah, it's just something that I think while memorizing, you hear a bunch of different reciters, and then you kind of try new things and try to change it up a little bit sometimes and see what works, what doesn't work.
So you started at around 8?
I started at 9.
You started at 9. And when you started at 9, had you already had like a bunch memorized, or you started like, you just knew how to read the Quran and you were pretty much starting with just a few surahs?
No, I had just Amma memorized probably around the age of like 7-ish.
Okay.
Maybe a little, yeah, around that. But it wasn't, I hadn't reviewed it in a while, and when I started, I had to redo all of that again. So I started from Nas, and I just started. I hadn't memorized anything past Juz Amma. So it's just one Juz.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you needed some refreshing in that Juz when you started.
Yeah, that Juz I hadn't done very well. So
okay. So how many years did it take you?
It took me a total of 3.5 years, which is a little longer than usual. I had a good 6 months or so where I had to do a lot of rememorization, because I actually switched TIFF schools coming to Adams Center from Lanham, Maryland.
So you finished at the Adams Center.
Yeah.
But you started in Maryland.
Yeah, I did 13 in Maryland, Lanham, Maryland, PGMA.
Shout outs to PGMA.
Yeah. And then we moved up to Virginia, and I joined Adams Center, and that's where I finished.
Now, what did you notice different between the two Quran schools, from PGMA, Maryland? Well, okay, it doesn't have to be.
Oh man,
I see you got nervous. Like,
I'll tell you, there's a lot of differences, that's for sure.
Okay, well, let's stay positive and just say, what were two good things that you really noticed about PGMA that you liked, and what were two good things that you really liked about the Adams Center?
So, I guess, alhamdulillah, the Adams Center program now is probably one of the best programs. Alhamdulillah, I think me and I guess a few other students that were there at that time were the guinea pigs, and we kind of, I guess the principal and others there kind of learned from our mistakes and things like that. And so alhamdulillah, they're definitely not what they used to be.
Meaning they've
like
improved.
They're probably one of the best.
They tested it out
I've
on
ever
you.
Seen. Yeah, I got tested out on, but no, now alhamdulillah, they're focusing on tajweed, and their review program is very, very rigorous. So and there are a bunch of small children that I'm sure you've seen coming out with incredible review, and their tilawa is very excellent, and they have some amazing teachers now, alhamdulillah. But going back, PGMA, I think they had the review system was a little more rigorous. They were more traditional, I guess. So they kind of had stand up against the wall, things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they had a little more of that, which may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. But it definitely motivated you a little more to do your review on time, get your memorization done before before 9 when it was break time. Otherwise, you don't get break. You just stand against the wall, talking to the wall for an hour or so. It's gotten. I haven't alhamdulillah gotten as bad punishments there as others.
Oh wait a minute, you were on that wall a few times?
I mean, there was times where the wall was alone, and I thought maybe I should just go up and talk with a little bit. No, I think I remember once I had to stand against the wall till dhuhr with my hands up.
Ooh.
But that was the worst I ever got.
People thought you were praying. Allah. What's that guy doing?
Oh no, there were definitely students that that the teacher would say, by the time you graduate, there's going to be imprint of you on the wall, things like that. So it was.
These Quran teachers have a sense of humor, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I mean, it was in Greenbelt, Maryland, which is very, it's a very different atmosphere than it is here in Virginia. So but that aspect to the memorization, did motivate you a lot, and I do find that a lot of the portions in the Quran that I memorized there, I've held on to them stronger than some that I've done here in Adams. And Adams, alhamdulillah, one of the best parts that I enjoyed about Adams was the very relaxed. I kind of over there is very tense. So, and I enjoyed both. Alhamdulillah. But Adams Center was very relaxed, and alhamdulillah, I enjoyed. And the program they have now, of course, like I said, is definitely.
And I think one of the things that the audience can get out of this is that if you're interested in memorizing the Quran, or if you're interested in having your children memorize the Quran, you should maybe visit the schools a couple of times. If you feel like your child needs a little bit more strict regimen in memorizing the Quran, you'll find that school. If you want your child to be in a little bit more relaxed environment, you can find that school. So it's not necessarily one's better than the others. You have to find what works best for your child. Now, would you say that that you noticed that some students operated better in one environment or the other?
we were all very young when we started, so I have to say that you kind of are put in, and you automatically accept your surroundings. So I was doing fine in both, because I was still not even a teenager, still figuring out life, so
now you got it all figured out.
No, I'm still in that process. Yeah, definitely. But going back to your advice to parents figuring it out. My parents, like I said, threw out the idea at 8, and I started at 9. And that the reason for that year gap was because actually in Baltimore, and the Hifz school there was a little more, was a little more strict than others.
Than the PGMA.
Yeah, than PGMA. And so my parents thought maybe it wasn't. I was still young for such a program, and so it wouldn't have been healthy for me. So I mean, you do have that judgment, and I'm grateful for that, definitely. And alhamdulillah, I've
Now I've found that almost every Quran program that I go to, they have these breaks, and it's good. I mean, the youth, they need breaks. It can't be like 7 hours straight. And a lot of times what they do, one of the things that I liked about the Adams Center, and I didn't go to other masajid, so maybe it was in PGMA or other places, I don't know. But I would see the Quran teachers playing with the students.
Yeah.
They would be playing soccer with them, sometimes they're playing basketball with them. And I just felt like you guys were really bonding with them on another level. And I wanted to know if you could tell us a little bit about that. How important were those breaks and opportunities where you got to have fun with the teachers?
Yeah, I mean, in my first Hifz school, I think one of my teachers, I mean, not all of them, but one of them definitely came in. I mean, they have to let loose too, they're sitting just as long as you are, and having to deal with more kids than you. You just have to deal with the teacher, and the teacher has to deal with all the students, so it's definitely probably more tiring for the teacher. So yeah, he has to let loose too. But no, I can definitely say that at Adams, that was definitely one of something we look forward to is, playing with the teacher, and we always try getting him on our team when we're playing soccer and things like that. And and whenever he would come, it was definitely a treat. So yeah, I mean, that would definitely, to see that other aspect of, or the other side of the teacher, where he can also be strict, but he can also play and school you in soccer, and just being humbled by that. It's definitely adds to the entire experience.
You got, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. You got a lot more that we haven't even touched yet, so we're going to speed up a little bit. You have, at a young age, people were flying you to a different state to lead them in Ramadan, Taraweeh prayer, right? Yeah. You've been in many competitions where, I'm sorry to put you on blast, man, but hey, that's why I got you on the show, to inspire people. You won many competitions, and a lot of them were first place, and some of them were local, national. You've been part of an international competition? No? So local.
I mean, Canada was part of Miss. I don't know if you want to. No, it wasn't.
But local and national competitions, and how is that for you? Like, were you getting, well, for instance, the one where you had to go to, was it Idaho or?
Iowa.
Iowa. How was that for you? How old were you when that happened?
I was 13.
13 years
old?
old?
I was a little older than 13, a little above 13, yeah.
And they flew you out from Virginia?
Yeah, well,
to Iowa.
My aunt was out there. So so they have a small community there, and alhamdulillah, they kind of had a system where they were flying out imams every 10 days. So they had 3 different imams, and they, my aunt was visiting, I think she was visiting, and she kind of prayed behind me like once or twice and said, oh, why doesn't he just come up to Iowa, and he can stay with me, and so that ended up happening. Alhamdulillah, I think I got the middle 10 days. Yeah. So I was able to, spend some time, some of Ramadan home, and then I went up for 10 days to Iowa, and yeah, alhamdulillah, I think most of the places where I end up going is, it's usually like, there's family there, and they kind of want, like, I went to Pennsylvania, I think, maybe a year or 2 after that, and I led with two of my father's cousins. So we kind of went around leading, and so yeah, alhamdulillah, I mean, if you ask how it was, I mean, alhamdulillah, that's all adds to my experience.
Right.
So.
Now, we're going to take a break shortly, but I want to, before we go on break, I want you to tell people a little bit about, because I have been talking on the show a lot about the natural gift of Quran students of hearing notes, and somehow the ones that are very melodious and have a beautiful recitation, when they recite, they go up, they go down, but they're hitting the right notes without even knowing it, whereas sometimes other Quranic reciters, maybe they don't have that gift. How, and you have that. I've heard you recite, and I believe you have that. Do you remember, like, you said you were listening to different Quranic reciters as you were memorizing, you would attach to one. Is that something that made you attach to one of the reciters over another?
So in the process of memorizing the Quran, you want to, like, involve as many of your senses as you can. So you want to be reading it, you want to be saying it out loud where you can hear yourself, you want to be listening to others, and you want to be, even holding it, using your finger, going along and trying to get you know, trying to immerse yourself into, you know, the Quran like that. So just for all your senses to get a feel of it so that you remember it better.
I see.
So so for me, I mean, may Allah reward the makers of Quran Explorer, because that I memorized so much from Quran Explorer. Just you know, the program where you can just choose how many ayat you want to do, and then you just pick a reciter and you click how many times you want to repeat it, and you can have them repeat the same ayat 10 times, then move on to the next one, repeat it 10 times, then next one, and then at the end have the entire passage repeated 10 times.
QuranExplorer.com?
Yeah, QuranExplorer.com.
All right. Okay.
That was definitely played probably one of the biggest roles in my memorization. And I mean, I did have like one or two reciters that I would stick with, but I would almost always switch it up. And I used to pick a little faster reciters that I can kind of, you know, go with it quickly, and I just be reciting with them. And then by the time I'm done memorizing, I'm not going to be reciting in my own way. I'm definitely going to be copying exactly how he recites it. So I'd, you know, be copying exactly how he does it. And even today, like when I'm reviewing, I'll be reciting one place, like, you know, one sheikh, and then suddenly I'll be like reciting like Sudais and Shuraim, and I'm, you know, just like I can tell you, like, there are certain passages where I'm like, yeah, from here to here I memorized it like Sudais. Oh, this surah, yeah, I memorized it like, you know, Ahmad al-Ajami, and this person like this, and it's just like that's what's been ingrained in my mind, you know. So, and the hearing aspect of it played, you know, big role into that. So I think that a lot of students tend to, and of course when you're memorizing the Quran, one of the biggest things people tell you to, you know, stop listening to music, and if you're going to listen to anything, listen to Quran, and it helps you with your review. So listening to different reciters plays a big role. So when you're listening to all those different reciters, you know, the different tones and stuff, you end up copying them. And I think the natural aspect is not that, you know, as soon as you walk in, you're suddenly like gifted with the you know, ability. I think it's the process of, you know, listening to different reciters, appreciating different imams when you go praying behind them, because you're also in the process of listening, and then listening to your own teacher recite to you in a different way. And, you know, all of that plays into the role of
all five senses. Immerse yourself in it. I like that. So when we come back from break, we're going to open up with Quran. So if you promise to come back, I promise you that Brother Abdullah is going to open up with some verses of Quran. So sit tight. It's the month of Ramadan. Get your ears open and immerse yourself with all your five senses as much as you can when we come right back. You're listening to Think About It with your host Joshua Salaam, brought to you by PennyAppealUSA.org. We'll be right back.
Water is an important part of life, and the difference between clean and dirty water is the difference between life and death. We know that the issue is not that there's a lack of clean water, but a lack of access to it. So we're on a mission to change that. Through Thirst Relief, we're building wells across Africa and Asia to provide millions with access to clean, safe, consumable water. The goal is simple: to provide clean water to every person who needs it. To irrigate gardens like these, horticultural gardens in Gambia. To make sure that no person ever has to drink dirty water ever again. So join us. Visit pennyappealusa.org/thirstrelief and donate today. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث صدق الله العظيم.
For sure, Allah speaks the truth. Thank you very much, Mr. Abdullah Ahmad. Now, if I was to ask you which reciter you were studying when you memorized that, actually you had that memorized before you even started at 7. So that's like Baba. That's the the beautiful voice of Baba.
I do have some surahs that I have in my head from my father reciting in prayer.
Wow.
So yeah, that's definitely true.
Now we were talking about something offset. We're gonna bring that on set. Don't get nervous. See the audience, they love that stuff. They're like, oh, he's getting nervous. What they about to talk about? Because what we were talking about when you guys were, watching the Penny Appeal commercial was that, memorizing Quran is a real challenge. Like he just said, he had to invest 3.5 years of his life to get that. And there's different schools that have different styles. And he talked about the school in PGMA, and he talked about how that was a strong, very strong review process. And some of his strongest juz portions of the Quran that he had memorized came from there in PGMA. Then he talked about coming to Adams Center, and he enjoyed, it was a more relaxed setting there, and he admitted that he was a guinea pig, and they were testing out different styles on him and other students, so that now they have a really, really good program, right? But we were talking about how some students, he's traveled the world. He told you he went to Iowa, and he has family that used to live in Malaysia and different parts, and he's seen in his travels around the United States and the world that some students don't have such a positive experience with the Quran in these Quran schools. So we just wanted to talk a little bit about, from a student perspective, this is a message going out to parents, some things that you can consider, some things that you should look out for when you're sending your student to a Quran school. And here's somebody who's been through it and done it. What's something that you can tell our audience that are maybe some stories, without mentioning the names, without mentioning which state you were in or which city you were in, but things that you saw where people didn't have such a positive experience with the Quran, and then an advice to the parents on how they can make sure that when they put their children in these Quran schools, that they're going to come out with a love for the Quran.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely.
Is that a good intro, man?
Alhamdulillah. That's perfect. That's excellent. Right. Alhamdulillah. So I mean, every person is different. So by no means am I discouraging anybody to ever go and pursue the memorization of the Quran, but definitely you have to check in with your child or with yourself if you're, old enough to be able to do that. Just to make sure that you're getting the best out of it and that it's not harming you, because there's definitely there are students that have that I know very close, close to me, that have gone through programs that I have gone through, and they've gone through negative, and they've had negative repercussions from the same experience that I've had, or similar, and to the extent where they don't want to touch the Quran, and they can't. It's just traumatic experiences that they've gone through. Whereas there's others that have gone through even worse than them, and they've gone to excel into reciters that are world renowned, that I know, and they've gone to Malaysia, and they've gone to the UK, and they're big there, leading Tarawih with reciters that I've listened to on Quran Explorer, memorizing. So there's the whole range of people, and I definitely just have to say that you just have to check in with yourself, making sure that and especially if your younger child is going to a Hifz school, I definitely have to say that you should always check in with your child, because they're not going to necessarily say everything. And you have to definitely go into...
Well, I want to press back on that a little bit, because I know as a parent, you were like ready. Your parents asked you, they just threw the idea out there, you want to memorize Quran? You were like, yes, Daddy, I would like to memorize Quran. And you were just a blessed child. And you're the chosen one, and you came and you memorized Quran. But there's some children that are like, no, I don't want to, and they take a little bit more nudging, right? And so their parents might put them into this school, and then they'll check in with them and they go, okay, hey, little Abdullah, how's it going? They go, I hate it. I don't want to go anymore, right? It's like, okay, no, maybe but what are some clues that, like, that it's like, okay, I don't want to be here, versus, no, this is really a bad experience for my child? How do you
I mean, it's definitely a case by case, but the thing is that you don't want to be, I mean, in general, if you ever force your child or, you know, to do anything, even if it's eating, they don't like doing that, you know. That's something that they don't necessarily bode well with. So, but then there's others that, you know, they won't do it unless you force them. So it's a balance.
So how would you? I'm talking to you as a father. How would you incentivize the Quran for your future child? You know, you might want to have your child memorize the Quran. What's something that you would do with, like, okay, you know, how would you make it exciting for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you just start at a young age, have it part of their life. You know, have it like, have your child see you reciting the Quran, you know, by yourself, not necessarily, you know, saying, oh, let's go read the Quran, but, you know, just seeing that, oh, look, you know, my dad's reciting Quran there by himself, or, you know, have it playing, just have it so that it's not foreign to them when you bring up the idea, and have it always in a positive light, and then when they do bring it up, just, you know, say, oh, and then have role models that, you know, you can look up to, like, you know, maybe whether it's people in the community, you know, alhamdulillah, I've been blessed to be that for a few people, even in my family. Some of my younger cousins, one's coming to mind, where, you know, just they say, like, oh, and they're like, oh, I want to be, you know, they see me leading at Adams with, like, tons of people, and they're like, yeah, bismillah, you know, I want to be, you know, do that, and they're like, yeah, well, you have to, you know, start memorizing. And they're motivated, and they're motivated, you know, by seeing, and people do, you know, the motivation comes from many avenues, and one of them is looking up to people and having role models. So yeah, I mean, give that to them, and then. I mean, if you're asking me what I do for my child, yeah, and then you just have to, you know, throw the idea out. So, like you've said multiple times, you just have to bring it up to them, and I think that, you know, if you play your cards right, then, I mean, they should be motivated, and it's to them, if at a young age they're accepting for anything, and they don't make a lot of choices in their life anyway. You're the one, you know, telling them what to wear, even, you know, so. Putting them in which school at a relatively young age, you know, around younger than 10, you know, anywhere from, like, you know, 6, 7 to 10 years old, you know, they won't be complaining too much. It's not like they have a voice in the matter necessarily. So I mean, yeah, I mean, they don't get to choose which school they go to. They barely even get to choose the clothes they wear.
Father, I was researching online. I don't know, in the future they're gonna be like, I checked with Google, and they were saying that the school in Baltimore is just phenomenal, phenomenal. I like to. So you brought us in with this segment with Quran. If you could take us out with Quran as well, and then we'll come back for the game. So choose anywhere, whether it's something in the last juz, which is something that you started with, or somewhere else in the Quran with a favorite ayah of yours. But take us out with it.
Bismillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قل ادعوا الله أو ادعوا الرحمن أيما تدعوا فله الأسماء الحسنى ولا تجهر بصلاتك ولا تخافت بها وابتغ بين ذلك سبيلا وقل الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا صدق الله العظيم.
For sure, Allah speaks the truth. You have been watching Think About It with Joshua Salaam, and our guest today was Mr. Abdullah Ahmad, all brought to you by pennyappealusa.org. I hope that you've listened today and have got some important information on how to choose the best school for your student, for your child, whether it's something that's more rigorous or something more relaxed. Know your child, know your Quran school, and think about it, inshallah. We'll be back to play a game with my friend here, so don't go nowhere. Assalamu alaikum.
I could show you an image of a child starving, belly swollen, tears streaking down his face. I could show you an image of a child and tell you that if you don't donate 50 cents today, that he or she will not make it. But there's so much more to these children. Take a look. What do you see? I see new families where old ones were lost. I see new routines in new homes. I see children forging a brighter future through education and positive encouragement. We may not be able to give orphan children a chance at an old life, but we can work to ensure that their tomorrows are better than their yesterdays. This is Orphan Kind.
Assalamu alaikum. You are back and my time is running. I can see it counting down from 15 minutes. We don't have much time with you today, but you're watching Think About It with Joshua Salaam. I'm your host. I got my guest here, Mr. Abdullah Ahmad, and this is all brought to you by pennyappealusa.org. Now, I want you to know that we do listen to your feedback. So some of my friends and some of the people were saying that, you know, Joshua, you know, our attention span isn't that long and we're tuning into the show and it's like you talking for 15 minutes. And so if you notice today, I jumped right into it with Abdullah, and that's what we're going to do from now on because of your feedback. And if you don't want to give me feedback, I'm not going to do it. So, but if you contact us and you give us feedback, we'll talk about it in the office with our producers. And then we say, hey, you know what? That's a good idea. The community has a good idea. So from now on, inshallah, the monologue is going to be like 3 minutes, 5, 4, very short, and then we get into it with our guests. Especially this part where I beat my guests down in a halal way in this game that I like to win. I don't have a name for it. It's just called The Game. And it's brought to you by Think About It. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Inshallah.
All right, here we go. My clue to you is okay, my first clue. I'm gonna build up to this, man. High school.
Peer pressure.
Way off, but I like your guess. Yeah.
All right. They gave me the hardest word first. Let's see. What about biodata?
What in the world?
Oh wait. Okay.
Nah,
Okay. I'll build up to it as well.
Thank you. Biodata. Chemistry.
Okay.
We hear no.
Never
We hear
mind.
no sounds. Is it
Scratch
right or
that.
wrong? Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
that's right. You scratch that clue.
You probably should just scratch that clue. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Scratch that.
All
Clue.
right. Don't scratch this one. First clue was high school. Next will be play.
Elective.
Okay. I know what my next clue will be. All right. Go ahead. Oh, late. Why y'all late? Okay.
Facebook.
Okay. Biodata.
No. Just scratch that. Scratch that. Scratch that. That was a fail. Don't even.
Okay.
consider that.
Analytics.
Okay. No.
No.
it's
Okay.
not.
All right. Here we go. Theater. High school. Play. Theater.
High School Musical.
No.
Okay. Never mind.
He said High School Musical. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Person.
Facebook person. Not biodata so much.
No. Like person. Like one's person.
It's person. Not just person, but
not like
person.
a person, but like one's person.
oh, okay. Facebook person profile. Wow. Hey. You get a point.
Nice.
You get a point. All right, here we go. High school, maybe not that important. Okay, so
Okay.
you don't have to pay attention to high school so much. But theater, play, those are important. Wait a minute, did I give you theater before? Or is this my first time saying theater?
We'll play it back.
Play back. Okay.
Yeah.
Theater.
Okay.
Play.
Those
are clues.
Theater, play. Gosh. I'm not very verbose. I'm not very good with my words.
Now you tell me. No. That's okay. You do all right, man.
Theater, high school.
Now, high school is not that important.
Entertainment.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna get there.
All right, next word for me.
Next word for you.
Blanket.
Why you gotta say it like that? Next word for me. Blanket.
Blanket.
Cover. Okay. Seats. Theater. Play. Seats.
Okay, you're really creating an image in my mind.
What image is in your mind?
Theater. That's the word that's coming to my mind.
That's because I said it. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, not only that, because that's something that people go into, theater.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
So
come with it, brother. Preach.
I have no idea.
What?
Okay.
Now, how you gonna say all of that and then say I have no idea? Yes, coming to my mind. Theater, play.
Well, I can't think of another word for theater.
Okay. All right.
I mean cinema.
Cinema. Okay. All right. All right. Your turn.
All right. So I said blanket. Now let's say. Pieces.
Blanket, pieces. You're second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
Why did I say?
Well, I'm just putting myself in your shoes. I have no idea what I'd guess for that.
Blanket, pieces. Blanket, pieces. Sheets. Okay. All right.
I'm struggling here.
Okay. Gymnasium. Theater is a stronger clue. Play, seats, those are all stronger clues. Gymnasium.
Theater.
Now high school kind of could come back into play.
I didn't go to high school, right?
You were homeschooled, weren't you?
I was homeschooled.
They're in, but that's okay. That is.
You can't go to high school and hip school.
But imagine going into a high school. You had friends.
Try. I did.
I was homeschooled, right? All right. Yes, I do know you were homeschooled.
You said gymnasium.
But theater, play, seats.
I'm gonna hate myself at the end of this.
High school, gymnasium,
seats,
theater, play.
Thinking.
I got it. Next time, I got it. Just say something. It don't matter. I don't care what you say. I got it next time.
All right. I gotta think of something now, huh?
Yeah. You gotta think of something now. But 100% audience, 100%. My next clue, he's got it.
Inshallah.
Watch this.
All right.
Inshallah.
Graduation.
Inshallah. Graduation. No. Your turn.
Okay. Art.
This is another clue to a word you already done.
Blanket.
Pieces. Art. Blanket. Pieces. Art. Blanket. Pieces. Art.
Here, blanket's the biggest clue. Then we go to art.
Then we go to art.
Then pieces.
Then pieces.
Blanket art.
Blanket. Like in your bed type of
Yeah,
blanket.
yeah.
Art. Dream. I don't know.
No.
Okay, here you go. You ready? Listener.
I have no idea what that.
Are you serious? I just, yeah, I'm lost.
Well, it happened 100%. You didn't get the 99%? Oh, man.
Listener. Think, my brother. Theater. Play. Seats. Listener.
You really got me lost. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really.
Why? All the locals, all the miss. Oh, okay, never. Go ahead. What you got?
Wait. Improv?
No, my brother. Yeah, I need to back off that 100%. It's more like 92.
You want to just skip that one and go to the next
I
one?
can't.
can't?
They keep putting it up on the screen. I have to do it until.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, it's right there. Dang it. All right. All right, I'm still on blanket, pieces, and art.
Art, yes.
Why don't we say blanket, pieces, art, decoration.
Huh.
This word is all of those things.
This word.
All of those things.
Oh, like what's that big fluffy thing that you put over your bed?
A fluffy thing? A blanket?
No, it's bigger than a blanket. It's like a cover. It's like a anything. Anyway, this thing.
Think about it. Pieces, art.
Pieces. This thing is pieces. This thing is blanket. This thing is art. This thing is, what was your last clue?
I don't remember. Decoration.
Decoration.
It's decoration.
Some type of rug?
That's a good one, but no.
No? Okay, man.
Rug's not pieces.
I know, but it's blanket and it's art and it's decoration.
That's true.
Could be. What about, okay, theater, play,
I'm really sorry, by the way.
seats. It's okay, man. Seats, mist, listener, theater, play.
That's why I thought improv. Okay, well, I guess improv's out.
You know what?
It's not
all the Miss participants are hitting their screens right now at you, man. All of them. Every single one of them. Where y'all at, Miss? Chime in. Spread this video.
Missed.
Theater, play, seats.
Wait, do I not get like a genre or anything? Of the it's not specific, is it?
No.
Okay.
Listener is specific.
Yeah.
Never heard that word before? Listener? Nowhere. Never performed there? Nothing?
I don't think so.
Are you kidding me, man?
I performed there?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
I did?
you got your award there.
Oh.
Okay. Ya Allah.
All right. Let's see.
Just say grapefruit. Just
Award ceremony.
no. Okay, your turn.
Oh God.
This thing is all of them. It is a blanket.
Uh-huh.
It is art. It is
is.
pieces. It is decoration.
This one's pretty simple.
Okay, fine. All right. I'm stuck.
That
on,
one's probably not
I'm
simple.
stuck with my first word, so I can't say nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's give you another word.
Blanket. Pieces. How can something be a blanket
Stitching.
and pieces at the same time?
Stitching.
Stitching.
Oh. Dang. I got a better one.
You
than
got a better one?
stitching.
All right, so let me say
Yeah.
something quick. Stitching would be a blanket. Sweater.
No. Oh, I got a good one.
You got a good one?
Yeah.
All right. Ya Allah.
Yeah, I think that's what you got the term right now.
Stadium.
I have the image. I got the image. Theater, seats, gymnasium, stadium, auditorium.
Lisner. Oh, what'd you say?
Auditorium?
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I think that deserves a few more.
Well, thank you very much. Well, alhamdulillah,
Oh,
we ran out of time. Abdullah won 2-1. What was the word? All right, give me your last clue.
Embroidery.
Embroidery. Oh, like a doily or something? What is that thing?
Embroidery, art, decoration, embroidery on pieces. It's a blanket.
Your word is embroidery?
No.
What is it?
You sure?
Yeah.
Quilt.
Quilt. Blanket quilt. Okay.
It's pieces that you stitch together.
Yeah.
Embroidery, art.
You were going down around. Well, I think this is.
I got it. Alhamdulillah.
You beat me. You beat me. I was stuck on Lisner Auditorium.
No, why? We both got one each.
No, you got 2.
No, I got profile.
Oh yeah, tie game.
tie.
Oh man. All right, there we go.
You're welcome.
All right, well, you had another episode of Think About It with your host Joshua Salaam, with our wonderful Abdullah Ahmad. Hey, if nothing else, he gave you a good website to check out from all his experience at PGMA and Adams Center. He said go to QuranExplorer.com.
Let's go.
QuranExplorer.com.
We'll work on it after.
Thank you. We'll work on my tajweed. Check it out. Maybe that will help you in your memorization. We'll see you tomorrow. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
This Dean TV video was made possible in part by Penny Appeal USA, Small Change, Big Difference, and by Recycle Processes Incorporated.